comes a time in every franchise's life when it has to look itself in the mirror and ask itself, is this the franchise I want to be? The Marvel Cinematic Universe is in the middle of that self-reflective point right now. After flop after flop after flop, Disney may have reached what is often called rock bottom. It has brought back some of the actors and directors who took the MCU to its heights and seems, at least on the surface, to be attempting a course correction. Whether they have learned the correct lessons and how the public will receive these attempts has yet to be seen, but they get an A for effort. However, much like a runaway freight train, franchises like the MCU can pick up a lot of speed, which makes it difficult to alter course quickly. Productions start years before the final product is unveiled, and sometimes things come out at the worst possible time. After a pretty dismal release schedule, Marvel hit it big with Deadpool and Wolverine, a movie that, while not perfect by any means, was a commercial success. In an ideal world for Marvel, they would follow it up with another big hit that continues its return to form. Unfortunately, the cruel hand of fate had other ideas, as the next thing on the docket is Agatha, House of Harkness. Agatha, Coven of Chaos. Agatha, Darkhold Diaries. Agatha All Along. Yeah, that's it. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. What? Who? Why? And all of those are great questions. Agatha and the constantly changing alliterative title is a spin-off of 2021's WandaVision, which itself was a spin-off from Avengers Endgame, which would make this a spin-off of a spin-off, or a spin-off squared, if you will. WandaVision had portrayed itself as a quirky, mysterious story that told its unfolding narrative in an ever-changing style that showcased different eras of television. For about half of its runtime, it did just that, before it devolved into a Marvel property with over-the-top, effects-heavy laden spectacle. At the end of the show, Agatha, the secret villain behind it all, was defeated by Wanda and placed in a constant, hellish mind prison. But now that Wanda is dead, maybe, she has been released. She still lacks her powers, so she is forced to assemble a team of sassy, quirky witches and set out on an adventure down the Witch's Road. I'm sure you're excited to see what shenanigans Marvel has in store for us all. My biggest question in all of this is, who is this show for? Looking at the trailer and some of the behind-the-scenes featurettes do very little to provide any concrete information as to what this show will be. There's the usual trademarks of Marvel's ongoing work, perfectly diverse cast of feisty girl bosses, poor attempts at oh-no-she-didn't humor, generic female villain that I'm sure is in fact understood and is only bad because of something a man did to her, and a male character that is in no way masculine or otherwise threatening to the empowered female sensibilities. Marvel's gotten the band together for one more show. For what it's worth, I do like Kathryn Hahn and Aubrey Plaza, and I'm sure the studio is hoping that the general public's affinity for the actresses will draw some audience that otherwise would not care about this show. Kathryn Hahn, it seems, is trapped in a system of prior decisions, much like the MCU itself, and sort of has to see it out to the end. I can't believe she's excited for this show. The audience surely isn't. This most likely would have been an instant success if it had been released in 2022, but now, I'll let you be the judge for that one. And Aubrey Plaza seems to be forever stuck in that second tier of actors. She is a genuinely good actress and an interesting personality that never could quite break into mainstream success, and it seems that moment has passed her by. It really is unfortunate. But back to the original question. Why is this show? That part is easy enough to answer. See my earlier freight train analogy. I can't believe that Marvel, if given the choice now, would choose to make this show. It's going to be a bigger hit than some of the other inevitabilities Marvel has in its pipeline, looking at you, Ironheart, but it's not going to be the phenomenon many in the behind-the-scenes interviews seem to think it is. Marvel has made their bed, and they have to sleep in it. Who is it made for? Just watching the trailer with its diverse cast of mainly middle-aged women and taking a gauge of the probable tone, I think the answer is middle-aged wine moms with a passing normie interest in superhero-adjacent fiction. The show has the sort of humor that's only biting to someone whose most severe insult to someone is that they need a chemical peel. Oh wait, that joke is actually in the show. Well, there you go. Seems like Marvel is going for an interesting strategy with its productions. Many studios in the past would often attempt to create properties that appealed to the largest possible audience, so as to maximize its money-making potential in everything it spent money on. However, Marvel seems to want to whittle the available audience pool down to the most specifically tailored group possible, and they just might have achieved that feat with this one. After all, 14 people who this show was made for have watched it and sent out 8,000 tweets that all read the same. Marvel will declare it a success while simultaneously complaining that its low viewer numbers were the result of coordinated review bombing, sexist comments, and bad reviews by the likes of Nerdrotic, Geeks and Gamers, and RK Outpost. There'll be a bunch of hoopla made about needing to increase safety on the interwebs and stopping violence against women by means of angry tweets and critical YouTube reviews, all of which will be bigger than the success of the show itself. And in the end, we'll all be left worse off because of it all. Welcome to mainstream media production in 2024. The MCU seems to be trying to right the ship, but we don't know if they'll be able to do it. Regardless of what their future plans are, this won't help them at all. We'll see if there's something redeeming in Agatha All Along. I don't have very high hopes. What about you? Will you watch this show? Let me know down below. Thanks for watching.